Hey there, comic book fans. No comic shop again this week, but I'll show you a few things, what I've been reading, a little original art. And I actually did order something from my comic shop this week. I ordered because DC is now going to be shipping comics the middle to end of May or something. So there was actually a final order cutoff that my comic shop emails us final order cutoffs, and we can just click on whatever we want to order and order it. And I look through. Usually I get no DC books, but I saw in there it was, remember, if you remember those famous first editions they published in the early 70s, like, the first Action Comics, the first Detective 27, whatever, the first Wonder Woman comic. They were like Marvel Treasury edition size, the first edition ones. They're reprinting one of those, the very first comic they printed, which I can't even remember what it was now. More Fun Comics #1, something like that. But it's going to be hardcover. It's going to be sort of like this size, I think. This is the hardcover Superman Muhammad Ali one from the 70s. Came out 4 or 5 years ago, whenever it was, in this nice hardcover version, so I picked that up. Matter of fact, I left my glasses over here. Let me see what year this came out. I think everything is 4 or 5 years ago, so who knows. Let's see, what year was this? 1978, the original came out. I'm looking for this edition. Somewhere in here. This is exciting. Watching me read an indicia. How come it doesn't? It's not giving me a year. There must be one buried in here somewhere. It says originally presented in, but it doesn't say what year it came out this time. There's the DC Comics. There's all the guys. Covered by Neil Adams. Colors by I.R. Colorer. I.R. Colorer. What the heck is that? 2010. Okay. So not 4 or 5 years ago. This came out 10 years ago. Oh, man. Like I said, I think everything came out 4 or 5 years ago, even if it's been 10. There's a little bit of recoloring in this. Not too, but if you look at like Superman there, he's like got a little gradation on him. It wasn't too bad, the recoloring on this one, I remember. I think the famous first edition might be in black and white. I don't even know, but I think it's only $20. This one was probably more expensive. Yeah, this one's got a $40 full retail price. So I think the famous first edition ones is only in black and white, so it's coming out at $20. But I figured I'd pick it up. May as well get something from the comic shop. So I'll have that coming in a few weeks. I don't know what my comic shop is doing, curbside service or whatever, because they're not actually open. And then I'll show you in my on top of my printer in the only bought for its covers section. So I keep one of my comics on top of my printer in that section, so I can kind of look at it as I go by. And this time it's Zodia in the Mod Rob. Take a look at that crazy thing. What does it say on there? Zodi's weather prediction: 50% rain, 50% sunshine. This cover just amuses me to know. I got it in. I don't have to look at my old videos because I traded some comics with someone on YouTube. Once again, I'm going to say 4 or 5 years ago. I can't remember who it was I traded with, but I gave him some stuff and he gave me some stuff, and this was among the stuff that he gave me, and I just love this cover. It's just a gold key comic from, the early 70s. And I think this was the only issue of Zodia in the Mod Rob. Modern Robot, I guess that stands for. July 1970s, copyright by Western Publishing. He's an astrological terrestrial phenomenon doing his thing right here on terra firma. I just love this cover. I like the colors, I like the drawing, I like the logos, I like everything. So I had this one sitting out, but now I'll put it away and pull a new one out for the week. Let me show you a little bit of what I've been reading. I've been working my way through neat stuff. I showed you this, I think, last week. I'm almost through volume 1. And it's pretty interesting. It's the early Peter Bagg work. and I've read a bit of. Matter of fact, I read the Bradley stuff that was printed in here. I read fairly recently. I think I did a little video on the hate in the Bradleys, but this Girly. Well, I haven't read all of this because it was kind of an anthology. It's got Girly Girl, it's got Junior, it's got Studs Kirby, it's got individual stuff, it's got some stuff that's just like crazy. I'm trying to find one of the crazy art pages. He even said in the intro, he's like, some of this is really thin. I didn't really have a story. I just wanted to draw some crazy stuff. Oops. There was a few pages that were just like, whoa. Oh, there's Girly Girl doing Robert Crumb's Keep on Truckin'. Because Crumb is one of his main influences. Matter of fact, he was saying he was working with Robert Crumb. Here's some teeny tiny comic strip pages. He actually got his first work. Robert Crumb hired him to edit Weirdo in the early 80s. That's what he was saying, you know, that in the intro he was saying. I never knew that. And oh, there we go. There's some crazy excuse to make drawings. People with descriptions, but I'm really enjoying this. Just seeing the early Peter Bagge work is a lot of fun. Then the other thing I just finished reading was Hellblazer Hard Time. Tim Bradstreet covers. 5-part series, written by Brian Azzarello and drawn by Richard Corbin. And my friend, who's a huge Corbin fan, actually gave these to me 5 to 10 years ago, 4 to 5 years ago, whenever it was, because these actually came out in 2000, but he had recently got the trade paperback of them, so he didn't want the original issues. He's like, you want them? I said, sure. And it's John Constantine in prison. And it's the old, you know, you're just waiting for John Constantine to be John Constantine, and at the end he is. Because, you know, it's the old, you know, he's not trapped in there with them, they're trapped in there with him. But really good. I'm usually not a Brian Azzarello fan because I'm not a fan. He writes everything in this sort of slang and phonetic writing that I'm not usually a fan of. But in the prison setting, it somehow didn't bother me. But John Constantine gets locked up. He's in prison trying to survive. And for John Constantine, it's not hard to survive in prison when you've got magical superpowers. But really good stuff. Let me just flash open a page for you to show you the Richard Corbin artwork. I saw some detractor write a review where he didn't like the Richard Corbin clown face artwork. But I did. I'm a big fan. He's just a storytelling master. But it's some people aren't a big fan of, you know, the way he draws these faces and stuff. Which is very, you know, Richard Corbin. The faces have a lot of roundness to them. I can understand when you call them a clown face. Very broad, sort of caricaturish features a lot of the time, but I like it. I'm a big Richard Corbin fan, and like I said, and sometimes he draws these figures that look stumpy with big heads, but I'm okay with it. But obviously, not everyone is. But if you're a Richard Corbin fan, definitely check out these issues of Hellblazer. Let me give you the exact issue numbers. The story name is Hard Time. It's in TPB. 146, 47, 48, 49, and 50. So it's 146 to 150. Brian Azzarello, Richard Corbin. Excellent stuff. And let me show you one more thing. This is some original art. And here is a random Red Sonja and Dune page. Once again, this is one of the pages I got. I've got the receipt in the back here. I got this page for $40 back in 2007 off of eBay. And it's just this beautiful pencil work. I don't even know if this issue was ever inked by Will Conrad. But look at that. Beautiful pencil work. This is once again one of these pages. I don't even know. Dynamite Comics. There's Dynamite on the back. Sonia, I think it's Sonia Thulsa Doom, maybe. Number 2, page 7. And like I said, I got it for $30 plus $7.50 shipping. That's crazy. That's crazy. I mean, $40 for this page? That is absolutely nuts. How cheap it is. I mean, that's just... I almost feel bad for anyone who sold this beautiful page for $40, because seems it, and you know, in a perfect world it would be worth a lot more than that, but you know, if it was worth a lot more than that, I wouldn't be the one who owned it. But in a perfect world, I would have endless amounts of money. Heck, if the world's going to be perfect, I may as well be rich. Anyway, there you go. Oh, first let me show you the artwork. We got some color behind me. That's right, I was working on a painting. I just decided I was tired of the big ink drawings, so I pulled out my acrylic paints, and this is on canvas. So it's different than paper. But this is, what's the name of this guy? Strange Character. Once again, he's a fellow who lives in the dream world, and he's a strange character because we don't quite know what he's thinking. He's given us lots of signals here, but is he a fan of rocketry? Is that some sort of phallic symbol? Is he a unicorn? We don't know. He's a strange character, but there's all sorts of colored paint and lines. One of my friends said he's obviously a dickhead, which is probably true. He's a strange character. But there you go. I'm working on another painting now because I have... to get more of them. I've had 3 of these 18 by 24 canvases sitting around for a while now. 4 or 5 years. So I just decided, you know what? I'm going to paint on them. I'm tired of them sitting around blank, and I'm tired of doing black and white drawings. I want to work in some color. So pulled this out last week, worked on it, pulled another one out at the end of this week, started working on it, but the new one's got a long way to go, but you guys all have a good week out there.